Welcome to Mindflow Radio.
Mindflow Radio.
She's Jaylyn.
And he's Monty.
So buckle your seatbelts and get ready to take a trip towards reality.
Here we come. Wherever that is. Yeah. So welcome, y'all. Thanks for being here. We made it to December. The last month of 2025 is upon us.
Indeed.
The lessons of the year, whatever they were for you, now is a good time to notice how far you've come and what you've overcome, what your obstacles were.
Or are.
But yeah, for me, I've been really just allowing myself to look back and realize how far I've come this year. It's for me, it's been this huge transformational, not pleasant, but very progressive in my own personal evolution. It's been
yeah. It seems like you've done a lot of Qigong training this year.
Yeah, I've been training for a year now.
And you got certified. Congratulations.
Thanks.
Another certification.
I know.
So now you're certified in Qigong with 2 schools.
Yeah. Well, 3 if you include the original Tai Chi.
Oh, okay.
So, yeah, I mean, training has been my way of continuing forward and feeling hope.
Yeah, well, making progress can really help the mood.
Yeah.
In general.
For sure.
And stagnation is really detrimental to our mental well-being.
Absolutely.
A feeling of stagnation.
Stagnation is painful. Growth is painful. Stagnation's painful. Right. It's all kind of painful.
Well, and the question is, what kind of pain do you want to experience? The pain of stagnation or the pain of growth? And I'll choose the pain of growth when
Me
possible.
Too.
Not that I'm always there. I'm not always developing, but I work on it.
Yeah. I think effort is just the name of the game and really we have a kitty who's about to chew a cord, so excuse us as we are distracted. But yeah, effort gives kitty. Me something to do, I guess stagnation is just been like, whatever, this is my cesspool. I'm just going to hang out in it and lament, which I do.
Well, stagnation,
don't get me wrong, I definitely do that
right.
too.
Stagnation is essentially a powerless perspective. I'm stuck. There's nothing I can do about it. It's all their fault. Therefore, there's nothing I can do about it. Mm-hmm. That kind of feeling. And, I'm just stuck.
Yep.
Maybe I won't be stuck in 2 more years or whatever it is. It's just...
Yeah, I think it takes a lot of foresight to even think that not being stuck is an option.
Well, when you start blaming others, you start believing, if I get rid of those other people.
Right, that it's due to outside circumstances.
Yes. Once I eliminate that group of people, then I'll be unstuck.
Yeah.
That's the feeling, sort of.
That's the age-old caveman style.
It is. Caveman, that's the kind of philosophy that started war after war after war, I'm sure.
Yeah.
We just got rid of those people, then we'll be great.
Geez, I'm still not happy. Let's go get some other people now.
Oh, geez.
Yeah. I mean, that was the, all the empires taking over. And I think it's important to just remember that we're at this really amazing, important moment in human history.
Yeah.
And acknowledging that we are all survivors of massive trauma throughout the ages.
Yeah.
is really helpful in, sometimes we have these moments of stagnation and we just don't understand where they're coming from. And if we can honor that there's a really good chance, it's called epigenetic trauma, that we are experiencing a moment of sensation that mirrors the lineage that's we've received.
So trauma is handed down from generation to generation.
Yeah.
And all of us feel that.
Right. And I really feel like right now, for whatever reason, more than any other time, of course, I am who I am when I am. And I'm at my prime of intelligence right now in my lifespan. Right. So of course, most likely that's contributing to my belief that now is the time for humanity to evolve. But I think that it's true. I feel astrologically speaking, there's very important things happening in the skies above us and around us that are contributing to the evolution, the conscious evolution that's possible.
Well, yeah. I mean, now does seem like a natural time for us to really get focused on evolving.
Yeah.
With all the shifts, the changes that are occurring.
Yeah.
And I mean, not to go back to that trauma piece. Trauma, our ancestral trauma and trauma that we incur during this life, it kind of all settles into our subconscious minds.
Mm-hmm.
And
yeah.
So to heal from the trauma, we need to be able to get into the subconscious mind and do some house cleaning, perhaps.
Yeah, I like that. Yeah.
Yeah, because part of our subconscious mind are like deep-seated beliefs. And if these deep-seated beliefs are based in trauma that have been handed down from generation to generation to generation, maybe it's time we try to reprogram some of these deep-seated, unproductive beliefs in our collective subconscious minds.
Yes, and it's also very important to acknowledge that a lot of this is pre-verbal. If something is handed down to you epigenetically, which basically means it's a hitchhiker on your DNA. It doesn't change your DNA. It changes the way your DNA acts because it's hitchhiking on it. So this is pre-verbal stuff. It takes more than a conscious effort to get into the subconscious mind.
Well, yeah, and I would suggest it's post-verbal, ultimately.
What do you mean?
I mean, beyond words.
Okay, yeah.
Transcendent.
Right.
So it's, in other words, another way of spinning this is that if we can get into that transcendent state more and more, perhaps that's all we need to do to heal our subconscious minds, our subconscious wounds, our subconscious beliefs that hold us in disharmony.
Yeah.
It's interesting if you look at it that way. It's if a belief is not real, if it's not in harmony with the universe, perhaps that on some level just makes us unhappy, gives us anxiety.
Yeah.
Leads us down the wrong path.
And one thing that you've mentioned before is how people who had been through the trauma of war in the past would go and live at ashrams.
Yeah.
And it's very well documented through many, 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 many teachers that there's a strong belief and feeling that meditation can burn karma.
Yes. Meditation or
mindful movement.
Or like being prayerful. I mean, anything.
Yeah.
All these practices can burn karma, certainly.
Yeah.
But when you talk about, Francis of Assisi, he was in a war.
Okay.
Yeah, and then he got out of it and somehow just became a monk. So he was one of those people who chose to deal with his trauma by training and learning and evolving and getting in harmony with the universe, and
I like to believe I'm a householder monk.
yeah, right. Yeah, me too.
Which is kind of the wave of of now, we don't have to go and renounce the world to train.
But
we can train right here, right now.
Well, for sure.
In our lives as they are, with our partners, with our families, with our children, with
ourselves.
Our jobs.
I mean, there's enough. That's a part of this time frame that we live in, is we have access to all this information as far as, okay, this is yoga training, this is Tai Chi training, this is Christian mysticism, this is the Kabbalah, this is the mystical end of the Muslim religion. Just the whole thing. We can tap into all these practices now. We have access to them.
Yes, and
yeah,
it is very important to put the disclaimer out there that there is skimming information and thinking you understand it.
Oh, right.
And there is diving deeply into information and embodying it and practicing it and seeing if it jives with you.
Right.
And then deciding whether or not you're going to keep it in your brain or move on.
Well, that gets down to training.
Right.
It's if we're really going to learn something, if I'm going to learn what it means to be a Taoist, for example, it's going to take some training. It's more than just reading it in a book and engaging the intellect.
Right.
Like I said, we have to get to that place of transcendence, which is beyond the intellect, to really experience what Taoism is, for example, or what mystic Christianity is, or whatever it is. It's a matter of training, reprogramming this subconscious mind, and getting beyond thought.
Yeah.
Which is really challenging in our culture, because our culture is all about thought, analytical thought, and you have the right analytical thoughts, you get all A's in school, yay, and you're an expert.
Yeah, right.
You're an expert in, what are you an expert in? Oh, I'm an expert in psychology. I have my PhD in psychology. I mean, that's not me, but but I mean, just the idea that you get a piece of paper and then you're an expert.
Hey, I got a piece of paper. And I'm an expert. No, I'm just trained. I have so many pieces of paper. It's silly, but yeah, I guess I was just playing with you.
So there. Are you getting into the transcendental mind frame that frees your mind from trauma and the past and the future?
Yeah, one thing that I've found through everything is that trauma wants you to analyze and stay in the mind, stay in the brain.
The intellect.
And what is just shown study after study after study and modality after modality, it's about getting back into the body.
Well, it's transcending the intellect.
Well, yeah, transcending the intellect, but in a sense, it's not so much transcending as it is embodying. Well, and bringing yourself back down into the body.
That's the way to transcend the intellect, though. I mean, if we can get solid in our body awareness, in our postural awareness, our breathing awareness.
Yeah, I just think transcending, the image in my mind of transcending is upward, and embodying is more of a downward, grounding thing. That's just how my mind presents it.
Sure.
And I don't think that either one of them is wrong or right. I think they're both right.
Well, right. I mean, but one way of looking at transcendence, you could be getting really in touch with your three dantians.
Right.
Your lower dantian, your middle dantian, which is your solar plex, and your upper dantian, which is your third eye. But if you get just in touch with those areas beyond the intellect, right?
Yeah.
Then you're grounded.
Well, see, and you just pointed out something without even meaning to.
Yes.
How different schools say different things.
Yeah.
Like you believe that the middle dantian is your solar plexus.
Yeah.
Everything that I've heard and learned, it says that the middle dantian is the heart chakra.
Yeah. Well,
so it's
I'm
very,
a rebel.
Yeah, you are a rebel, I guess. I mean, and then there's the triple burners, which the solar plexus is the middle burner.
Yeah,
so,
well, yeah.
you know, it's just all these words and things that we can argue and debate.
Right.
And that's where things get heady and analytical, when it's more about just sensing and being in the body.
Yeah.
And for someone who's had massive trauma, you don't want to be in the body. The body is not a fun place to be, and it's a scary place to be. And so, I mean, that's, you know, the whole idea of dissociation and freeze. And so to come down into the body is an act of rebellion in itself, when the body or when the mind says, no way, that's not safe, even though that's not even true. But that's how trauma works. It's not about like some truth serum. It's more like your brain gets hijacked, and really we're all traumatized. And there's been studies that show that the news traumatizes people, and the repetition of bad news is so bad for our brain and for our nervous systems. And then we feel like we were in the war, or we were in the whatever it is that's being reported, you know, because it's been repeated over and over and over, and we're sitting there watching it and consuming it. And it's really, we're all in a similar boat. You know, some of us grew up pre-verbal trauma. Some of us are just traumatized from watching the news.
I mean, it's important, though, to look at trauma as it's a continuum.
Yeah.
Some people have less, some people have more. We all have some,
yeah,
I would argue. And finding safety in the body sounds like a good idea.
Yeah.
You know, and just being able to regulate the body, regulate posture, regulate breathing.
Regulate the mind.
Well, and that's what you're doing, is you're regulating your thoughts at that moment. You're quieting down your thoughts because you're paying attention to your breath.
Yeah.
You're quieting down your thoughts because you're paying attention to your posture. You're quieting your thoughts because you're becoming more, you're hearing the birds, you're feeling the breeze, you know, et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah, getting your senses online.
Yeah. And if we're able to do that periodically throughout the day, have moments, in other words, have moments of peace throughout the day in our minds, then our minds are more balanced, and we have far less anxiety and far less depression and far less fear.
Yeah, fear is a big one.
Far less anger, far less arrogance.
Yeah,
that's
really,
another big one in our culture. People
arrogance and the opposite of
arrogant. Well,
I mean, those are like a continuum of themselves. You know, I, being someone who is trying to overcome serious trauma, I oscillate between self-deprecation and arrogance. You know, it's like two sides of the same coin.
Yeah, right. And the idea is to be able to, I mean, we all engage in negative self-talk too. Right. I mean, it kind of goes hand in hand with it. And then maybe the arrogance is we're trying to prove to ourselves how we do know so many things, and we're right about this, and we're right about that, and we're going to tell you about this, we're going to tell you about that, and
right.
I'm the expert in so many things, you know, that's
so much
arrogance.
Better than that person.
Yeah, and then what? That's the outward expression. Then the inward expression is like we're engaging in negative self-talk.
Yeah.
You know, how could you be so stupid? And you made that mistake, and blah 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 blah.
Yep.
So it's like,
yeah.
So we need to look at that whole system.
Right.
That whole system, and ideally transcend it. I know you don't like the word transcend, but It's an important word.
I think it's a good word, but I also think that it's like transcend the system by embodying yourself.
Yes, exactly. I mean, that's one way of transcending it is just by becoming more aware of our bodies, like you said.
Yeah, I mean,
our breath, our energy. How about this? Getting in touch with our prana, getting in touch with our chi.
Oh, absolutely.
Our energy. That's a great way to transcend thinking.
Yeah. Maybe after we share a song, I'll share my favorite meditation right now. But energy focus is so key in cultivating a different awareness.
And let's be straight too. In Western medicine doesn't even have a word for chi or prana. Not even, I mean, they'll admit, oh yeah, there's electricity in the body. Mm-hmm. Western medicine will admit that because it's obviously true, but there's no difference in the quality of the energy, or this, is it stuck or is it not stuck? Or there's none of that because Western medicine has, up until now, kind of just ignored that aspect of reality. So they're ignoring the idea of energy. And energy, however, is the foundation of all matter. That's, jumping into physics real quickly. So first principles health is we work with our energy first. Because that determines...
Which is in the body.
If our energy is flowing and it's flowing through our brain and flowing through our hearts and flowing through our lungs and flowing through our muscles and... And so that's a first principles way of, looking at health.
Yeah.
And finding, ways to become healthier and to evolve our concept of who we even are.
Yeah.
I mean, who are we? Who are you?
I really don't know.
Come on.
Honestly, I'm at a really weird point in my healing that I actually don't know who I am without trauma. So I'm working on it. Maybe I'll be able to tell you next year.
Do you think you have a soul?
Well, yeah.
Okay. Are you your soul? Is that you?
Well, yeah, I guess that's a part of me.
Okay.
That's probably the main part. But
okay, there you go.
I lost my point. I was going to say something. But we're going to play you a song, and in it, this is a song I wrote to myself almost a decade ago, and it's so interesting how I really had this time of creativity where I basically wrote myself a bunch of messages, and I'm trying to realign with them. And in it says, in this world of many voices, I have to narrow my choices. And that is exactly what we're talking about right now. We're talking about getting to the heart of it, getting to the energy of the body, getting out of the mind, getting out of the intellect, and sinking ourselves into our earth body.
Yeah.
And that is the message of somatic therapy. That's the message of so many modalities. Get out of the head and get into the body.
Right. But I wouldn't say that's getting out of the mind, though. Because the mind is out. The mind...
Well, it's giving it the right thing to do.
Yes.
Notice if your shoulders are tight. Notice if your sacrum is clenched. Notice if your kidneys are tight. Notice if you can feel your feet.
Yeah.
Simple things.
Yeah.
Give your mind simple things to do, like notice your body, notice your breath, notice how tense is your neck, how tight is your throat, how tight is your jaw.
Kind of, that reminds me of like the Taoist idea of just the uncarved block. That's what we're supposed to emulate, and just, it's very basic, right? Basic, solid, not jumping all over the place.
Okay, we'll talk about that more after we play this next song.
That sounds like a really good idea.
I've been waiting so long to be on my journey forward. I've been
We were talking about the uncarved block, which is a Taoist idea
Yeah.
of how to be a Taoist. And Taoism is based on simplicity and getting into harmony with the Great Mother or with the Tao.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And the way to harmony, according to Taoism, is to simplify. So we simplify the mind, we simplify our lives, we simplify our perspectives, and then ideally we're more in harmony with the Great Mother at that point. And also, as a side note, in the Tao Te Ching, it says, get in harmony with the Great Mother and the Great Mother will take care of you. Right? So there's this idea that if you use your mind to get in harmony with the Tao, that the Tao, in fact, will take care of you, will have your back, will help you out, will assist you in your life, which personally, I love that idea.
Yeah.
And I don't mind the idea of being the uncarved block either, because it's much simpler to be the uncarved block than to be like just very into what's the opposite of that? Somebody who's like highly complicated and maybe dressing all, I don't know. I imagine somebody all dressed up and fancy and complicated and argumentative. And
So what does the uncarved block look like?
the uncarved block is just simpler.
Are they naked?
It's utilitarian. it's getting to that place of more stillness in the mind. And I think that translates into just a calmer perspective on reality.
So
And,
is it
yeah.
like the beginner's mind? Is it the same thing?
It's definitely related to that. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Every moment is a new moment kind of thing. That's the beginner's mind. It's like, wow, this is fresh.
Right. Yeah, I remember when I started training with White Tiger Qigong, and the first class I was supposed to watch was the beginner's mind, and how important it is to let go of everything you think you know and open to new information, even if it's not new, as if it was new. And I think that's really interesting. It's an interesting approach to everything. It makes me think about, I know this is kind of a tangent maybe, but the Fool card in tarot, and it's basically the idea of the beginner's mind and trusting the Tao and trusting the world to guide you in the right way. But I think two things come to mind, and one is, if I'm the uncarved block, do I feel the axe as it shapes me? I guess that's like the pain of growth, possibly.
Well, perhaps, but I mean, uncarved means there's no axe involved.
So you just stay uncarved?
Well, you stay with that simple, yeah.
Okay, so you're not the uncarved block because the Tao's going to carve you. You're the uncarved block because you're
Period.
just an uncarved block.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, analogies only work so far, you know. But
Yeah.
I mean, the idea is just the uncarved, just to let go of all these, extra ideas and philosophies, and just be more present.
Okay.
You know, uncarved block, simple, just chop wood, carry water, be nice to each other. How about that?
Yeah, I like
nice,
that.
simple little idea.
The idea of, it's like a meme. It's before enlightenment, chop wood, carry water. After enlightenment, chop wood, carry water.
That's a meme?
Yep.
That's like an ancient saying.
Well, sure, but you know what I'm saying. Like, yeah.
Yeah, for sure. Well, that's it. Maybe, maybe some people when they become enlightened can like levitate. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's
I
possible.
hear it's rare. But
Levitation.
the idea of the beginner's mind and the uncarved block and the fool walking through the world, and all of those combined together, and what I've experienced over the last year make me think about just a simple saying, I choose the Tao and the Tao chooses me.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't understand how the fool fits in all this.
Well, the fool is and I'm not like an expert at tarot or anything. It just popped in my mind, right?
Yeah.
And the fool tarot card is just basically trusting the world. And
okay. Just the term fool means like foolish, like you're being tricked.
I know,
So
but that's not what I'm trying to say.
I don't quite resonate with that.
Yeah. Not the name, but the act of trusting the world and having a light heart and not being weighed down by a million worries and concerns. Right. And
trusting the Tao, having, some space in your mind.
Mm-hmm.
And then, that definitely reduces worry and makes us more effective.
Mm-hmm. I've been studying over the last few months this book called Reality Transurfing by Vadim Zeland, who is a Russian quantum physics guy, went philosophy. And he talks about how the world is a mirror and you get more of whatever you reflect into it. And he suggests that by shifting your reflection into the mirror and trusting the world, that you then receive a whole different host of things rather than more troubles, more worries, more concerns. And I can't say that I absolutely know that it works, but I can say that it's helped me a fair amount. And one of the things that I've contemplated in that image is just choosing the Tao and the Tao choosing me. And the Tao just simply means the path, the way. So it's like, and it's like a spiritual energy that you can create as your compass. But some of the compass is just trust, because we can't understand why things happen. And so if we don't have some trust on some level of the things that we don't understand, then we start to reflect in that mirror how we don't trust things, and that, we're fearing this and we're fearing that, and, and then we get more of it. And
well, right. That's just kind of like another take on just the idea of karma. Sort of like the energy you put out into the world gets reflected back at you.
Yeah.
Right? Basically, and if I'm going to be freaked out and angry, then maybe I'll
have reasons to be freaked out and angry.
What?
You're going to have reasons to be freaked out and angry.
Yeah. I mean, and understandably being freaked out and angry very rarely seems to be appropriate, but too much of that energy is harmful, I would say.
Yeah, and so a short little protocol on getting back into the Tao when you're finding reasons to be angry and worried is to, one, acknowledge that you're feeling that, and two, feel it. Just feel it as if it was a hurt child who skinned their knee and they're coming to you really sad and freaked out and wondering if they're okay. And you hold that emotion, that anger, that sadness, that fear, that worry, and you hold it without becoming it, without letting it become you, but just holding it as if it's another thing that you're comforting with your presence. And then after a little bit of time, and Thich Nhat Hanh talks about this a lot as well, holding anger like a baby, like a sad baby who's screaming, and you rock it and you hold it and you whisper sweet nothings in their ear. And so you're holding your own emotion as if it's a baby, and you're not letting it become you, but holding it till it calms down, and then acting on how you want to be in the world. So shifting and taking that action. So it's like, for me, that might look like, okay, I'm going to start doing some Qigong, or I'm going to go for a walk, or I'm going to meditate, or I'm going to chant.
Yeah.
So in other words, the idea of just shifting is not like a spiritual bypassing thing. It's not saying just be happy now. No. It's acknowledging that, yes, I'm angry. Yes, I'm sad. Yes, I'm scared.
Yeah.
And I'm just going to sit with that for a moment. But really navigating life from that place isn't going to really serve me, because I'm going to get more of whatever I'm reflecting.
Well, right. And if I'm bothered by something or another, the most logical and effective solution is to figure out a way to make the world a better place. If something in my culture is bothering me, it's like, oh, how can I help transmute that into something positive? Mm-hmm. How can I, be, if war bothers me, how can I spread the message of peace? Mm-hmm. For example, would be a way.
So I'd like to hear how, I'm trying to tie in my own mind, the uncarved block with all this.
Yeah.
So as the uncarved block, and not liking war, how would you go about that?
Well, simply just as the uncarved block, just being really first principles thinking, and just being peaceful in my mind, and sharing the light of peace with others, and examining the causes of war, and trying to develop a mindset which promotes the idea of people just being in harmony with each other. Developing a deep respect for every human on this earth. Developing love for, maybe not love, just developing like a deep respect. Because
allowing them to exist, allowing yourself to exist.
Well, I'm more than allowing. I deeply respect everybody, ideally, because I believe we're all, we all have that spark of the divine within us. Of course, I'm going to deeply respect everyone. But that's like step one to like getting over a warring mentality, right?
Okay. Yeah.
Is deeply respecting everyone, including myself. And that would be step one. And then spreading that word somehow, step two, and just trying to get that idea into the collective unconscious of humanity. And that would be movement towards a more peaceful world right there, that I personally work on.
Okay. So as an individual...
Well, it starts with self. That's the uncarved block. It's just simple.
Okay.
I'm not gonna
is the self.
Go raise a bunch of money and
well,
and
that
make
could
these
be an
big
action
posters.
you want to do.
That could be. Yeah, that's true.
Yeah,
it's true. That's true.
I tend to want to act from just a really, a personal level, but yeah, I have dreams of sharing with the world. I mean, hence Mindflow Radio, right? Like this is our way of sharing with a broader audience these concepts. So yeah, I mean, this is kind of like hanging a poster and in a way.
You're right. Well, I'm not the perfect uncarved block either, but I appreciate the idea.
Okay.
And I try to move in that direction.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, I don't consider myself just 100% Taoist.
Yeah.
I consider myself a mixture of a number of
spiritual beliefs.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, I really appreciate Taoism a lot. I feel like it it comforts me in a very dear way. I'm so grateful that I've come across it again in my life in a time that I'm able to really grasp it and hold it. Although the Uncarved block is kind of a new one for me.
Yeah.
Yeah, I immediately imagine like being carved. I'm like, that sounds painful. But you know what? Growth is painful. Healing is painful. So, yeah, the next song that we want to share with you is something about the many stages of life, which we call sometimes. And I feel like it takes a really special person to be steady all the time. And sometimes we all fall off our path, and that can hurt just us, or it can hurt our loved ones too. Which is interesting, like tying in the idea of deep respect for self and others. 'Cause I mean, in this crazy world, people can be really hurtful and harmful to each other, and it's hard to respect that. So, you have any thoughts on that?
Yeah, I do. Well, I mean, I deeply respect like the spark of the divine within everybody, and I also understand that we're all also, besides being divine like God beings, we're also each of us struggles with confusion. Mm-hmm. So if somebody's going around hurting people or doing that, they're just confused and they don't understand that they're actually really bringing about a lot of suffering for themselves as well as others. Mm-hmm. You know, and
so you have a boundary with them? Like,
well, of course.
You respect them, but
I respect people, but I don't want to hang out with everybody.
Right.
But I respect them. I respect it. I'll go past like a group of homeless people. I respect all of them. And I consider each of them to be survivors, mm-hmm. and to have something to offer me, and to be, deep down like spiritual beings. But I might not want to hang out with them at that very moment, but I respect them.
Sure.
You know?
Yeah, I've been kind of diving into this idea of healthy boundaries. I'm still not like very good at it. But even just the concept is intriguing. You know, it's not about how somebody else needs to change. It's about how I'm going to hold a line gently and kindly within myself. And I think that's really interesting because we do, it kind of goes back to what we were saying at the beginning of the show. Like for us to feel good, those people have to change or something like that, and we think that that's a boundary, but it's kind of an unattainable request. We can only change ourselves. Right. That's the only thing we actually have control over. And sometimes we don't even have control over that.
Right. Well, and that's where like personal boundaries comes in.
Yeah.
Am I going to overdose on screen time? That's a boundary I need to set for myself.
Yeah. And in this day and age, it's a very, very hard and very, very tempting. And, it doesn't seem like it harms anyone, but it's like difficult for your own brain. It's hard on our own brain. And so it is harmful.
Well, it is harmful because it's a lot of times just overdosing on unproductive data, mm-hmm. unproductive and sometimes untrue and confusing and, perhaps even traumatic information. We're just ingesting that, and then that's going to affect our own minds, mm-hmm. and it's going to make my mind less clear and more agitated, mm-hmm. and then that's my agitated state of mind is going to affect my family, mm-hmm. and then that's going to, it ripples out. Mm-hmm. That's what we have to look at. The boundaries we have to really be concerned with are the ones we have to make for ourselves.
Right. Yeah, that's what I was saying.
Yeah.
And how do we create those and acknowledge them and hold them? And I'm so very brand new at it, so can't really give much advice on it. But I did want to share. I had said that I wanted to share my favorite meditation focus, and that is in Qigong. It's called Connecting Heaven and Earth. And the idea is that you are a conduit of energy, and we can store some energy in our energy centers, but we can also be the conduit of quote unquote free energy from our environment, from the earth, from the heavens or cosmos, is like I like to say it. So the idea is that you can start working with this. I'd say it's easiest to do from a standing meditation position. And so if your feet are hip width apart, knees soft, which means not locked back and not super bent, and the hips are over the ankles, the spine is long, shoulders dropped back and down, neck long, and then reaching the crown up for the sky and imagining that the crown is open. And as you inhale, you're drawing down the cosmos energy down through the brain, the neck, the spine, the hips, the legs, knees, shins, ankles, down through the feet into the earth. And then as you bring up the energy from the earth through the feet, legs, hips, spine, brain, out the crown. So you can imagine this with your breath. I like to, as a beginner's connecting heaven to earth, I like to do it like this. As you inhale, you draw in the energy down through the crown, neck, spine, hips, into the legs. And as you fill up with air, then you begin exhaling and gently releasing the energy down through the legs and through the feet, out through the feet. And then on your next inhale, draw up the earth energy up through the legs, spine, brain, and exhale, releasing the earth energy to the cosmos out the crown. And just working with that breath energy. Inhaling, moving the energy, exhale, moving it out. And then repeating, oscillating back and forth. And that has been such a huge helper in me releasing some chronic back injuries and spine stuff. So if you have chronic spine tension, this meditation is just glorious and can really help you move through some things. So I just wanted to share that with you. But we have come to the end of our show. Mm-hmm. Is there anything else you'd like to share?
Just this idea of respecting ourselves, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
And just using boundaries, self-made boundaries, and trying to stick with them as a way of honoring our own minds and our own spirits. And then I think from that perspective, it's just much easier to also honor other people's spirits. Mm-hmm. So end of 2025, here we go. This year, it's been a doozy. I think 2026 will fairly likely bring some really earth-shattering positive things, maybe. We shall see. Could go either way, of course.
Yeah. Yeah. And all we have is the moment, and
Yes.
all we can control is our own energy to the best of our ability.
Right.
And if you can't control your own energy, then, maybe that's a signal that now is a good time to start training.
Yeah.
So,
Very nice.
yeah, I love how training makes me feel empowered over my own mind and my own energy. So,
Yes.
I have no idea what 2026 will bring. I know 2025 was hugely transformative for me personally. And all I can do is learn how to love more, be more peaceful, be more kind and gentle to myself and others, and hope for the best.
You're here.
So, yeah, hope you have a great new year, and we will be sharing again with you next year.
Peace and love.
Bye, y'all.
Sometimes there's laughter, sometimes there's joy, sometimes it hurts, sometimes you fall, sometimes there's pain, sometimes there's gain, sometimes you hold, sometimes you let go, feeling full again for me. All my thoughts, idle endlessly. See with eyes of love, forgive your fear. We are here to be loved. No excuses for no one. Compassion, intention. Sometimes it's